Hello, and thank you for joining us. My name is Carla Keene, CEO and developer of ClarityRx, and I welcome you to today's class. Today's class is what I call nature's pharmacy. For a lot of you that have been around me long enough to know, I'm pretty passionate about the role that botanicals or plant-based ingredients play in skincare. So today's webinar is really about the therapeutic benefits of botanicals and really understanding how these ingredients really work in the tissue of the skin. So what are botanicals? Really, botanical ingredients are components in the cosmetic or personal care product formulas that really originate from plants. This can be herbs, plants, roots, flowers, leaves, seeds, or foods. And when harnessed the right way, they can do wonders for our skin. Botanicals may be the latest buzzword right now in skincare, but they're really nothing new. We've seen these miraculous ingredients work on several different ways within the body, on the body, and the skin. It really dates back to Cleopatra. Not only did she used to bathe in milk, which is lactic acid, but she also used the herb's black cumin seed oil to actually clear her skin as a beauty treatment, and calendula was used as skin healing poultice for hundreds of years by the Egyptians. But why has it gone full circle, and why are we back on this botanical bandwagon? I think the industry has played out a very full circle of going from what original started as a botanical-based ingredient, history, and industry, to now then using a lot of synthetic chemicals that came into play that were yielding great results, but maybe a little bit too progressive, to back full circle to these miraculous ingredients that have such incredible therapeutic benefits, and they're a safer choice. What we have noticed is a lot of the harsh chemicals or synthetic harmful chemicals that have been used in our personal care items for years have also created some collateral damage in the skin. Some of them have prematurely aged the skin. Some of them are known as carcinogens that can cause skin cancer and the like. So we've gone full circle. ClarityRx has always been a big proponent of using these plant-based ingredients to get results, as opposed to the harsh chemical alternatives. Let's examine these persuasive use of what toxic chemicals do in our everyday personal care products. And these range from lipsticks to body washes. I think it's important that we challenge our clients and instruct and educate our clients that they have choices in their personal care items and that they don't have to sacrifice results by using a plant-based product line, nor do they have to sacrifice the health of their skin when choosing these harsher chemicals. The goal today is to really outline ways that we can move your clients away from these hazardous, harmful chemicals in skincare towards safer alternatives. So let's take a closer look. This toxicity in all of these ingredients that we use really seep into our lives every day, and it starts in our bathroom with our personal care items. On the average, women in the U.S. use about 12 personal care products a day. And within those products, and the average man, about 6 or 6.1. And out of those products, it contains a dozen or more chemicals. Now, 20% or more of these chemicals have not been assessed for safety. This is unfortunately a very unregulated market, which allows a lot of these unsafe chemicals to still be used in our cosmetics or our personal care products today. So we must educate our clients on the advantages of using a healthier alternative. However, that doesn't always mean that all natural or organic ingredients actually work. There's a lot to take into consideration as to why these natural plant-based products work. We have to also see enough of these ingredients within the formula to make them effective. So it's not just about an array of healthy ingredients within a product formula. It's also to understand the intended use of that product, what ingredients are involved in the formula, and how much of those ingredients are available for the skin in that formula. So let's explore some plant-based formulas. This is what's known as the science of phytonutrients. This is a whole part of our industry that really should be inspected and learned more about because it really does offer us so many applications to treat so many unwanted conditions within our scope of practice, from texture to improved clarity of the skin, to cleaning out pores, to eliminate the signs of rosacea, to improve the effects of acne. All of these we can accomplish with plant-based materials. Phytonutrients are the organic components of plants that are known to promote health in both humans and animals. These are your fruits and vegetables, again, your grains, teas, nuts, all of them very rich in phytonutrients. It's what I've always referred to as the living pharmacy or nature's pharmacy. One of the biggest sources of these phytonutrients unknown to exist anywhere else in the world, but in the rainforests of Brazil and Peru, are used most likely in skincare and derived from this region more than any other region in the world. These are called the living pharmacy for the depth and variety and complexity of the plant and animal life forms that have developed there over many thousands and thousands of years. So a lot of our ingredients that are plant-based are really coming from this region. The breakthrough discoveries that research in biochemistry and pharmacologic medicine continue to make in studying the wondrous ecosystems in this region are remarkable because they're discovering more and more therapeutic benefits of these plants, not only for internal use but external use as well. We have a plenitude of plant-based materials in most areas of most countries, however, and so it becomes a very sustainable source or sources for us to use in skincare. All of which continues to provide us with wonders of these divine botanicals used to sustain our health and wellness. So again, healthiness or health and wellness is really from the inside out and the outside in. So what exactly does natural mean? I'd like to explore this a lot because there is a word or a term that's used pretty loosely in our industry. Webster Dictionary defines natural as something that's quote unquote not artificial or synthetic or acquired by external means. So it has to be something that's organically grown, just grown from the earth as a plant base, and again manifested in either flowers, plants, seeds, greens, and all sorts of other different components. So that is what natural means, that the substance comes from a natural source. So here are some interesting facts. So many great skincare ingredients are derived from natural sources. It's always been my go-to as opposed to synthetic chemicals. Now, that doesn't mean that all synthetic chemicals are harmful, and it also doesn't mean that all ingredients that come from natural sources are healthy. We must take a look at all of that when we put together skincare formulas. Did you know that up to a third of all pharmaceutical drugs are also plant-derived? So again, very sustainable sources, healthier choices, non-synthetic, and therefore just a lot easier on the skin and in the body. Many people believe that natural ingredients are safer or free of unnecessary or harmful chemicals, and again, that's not always the case. The truth is that all things are made of chemicals. So to say that something's chemical-free isn't also correct. Everything is a chemical. There are such things as harmful chemicals, safe chemicals, synthetic chemicals, plant-based chemicals. So we have to take a look at that as well. I don't like to use the term chemical-free. It just doesn't really apply. There are plenty of natural things that are not safe, and one example of that is poison ivy. Contains harmful chemicals that create that histamine reaction in the skin. So again, not all synthetics are harmful, but not all natural ingredients are safe. Natural may mean it's derived from nature, but it's not chemical-free, safer, or more effective. Likewise, synthetic or lab-produced ingredients do not mean that they're also, again, free from being harmful or bad for the skin. I believe that we need to utilize the best of both to create the best products for the best outcome. And this usually does include both synthetic, safe chemicals produced by the lab, as well as what I call ingredients from nature's pharmacy. And sometimes it's a combination of both that really makes a product tick or provides us the results that we're looking for. The history of plant-based benefits for the skin, again, goes way back. Plants have played a large part of Egyptian medicine and daily life for up to 2,000 years. Plants were almost the exclusive source of cosmetics and skincare until the beginning of the 20th century. Cleopatra and several before us used plants like beets for lipstick or blush. They were using sand for exfoliants. And again, all of these are very earthy or plant-based components. Science and the cosmetic industry has gone really full circle again in the discovery of the benefits of these plants for the skin. Though strides of research have been done, it's now possible to really fully understand what specific plant constituents are responsible for what skin-related benefits found in herbs, fruits, and vegetables. So it's not a new concept to have plant-based ingredients in skincare, obviously, but what really has advanced is how we go about manufacturing and utilizing these ingredients and the metabolites or the byproducts of these components to really get the best targeted results in the skin. We basically can separate these out in different constituents or applications. These different categories are healing, rejuvenation, revitalizing, and in these categories, you can think about what plants would fall into what categories. So as we take a look at our clients' skin, we also have to realize what their needs are. Are they looking for more of a healing, calming attribute? Are they looking for rejuvenation or stimulation? Or revitalizing with new cell turnover and texture improvement? Because there is an herb, a fruit, a vegetable, or some plant-based ingredient that we know that can help in all three of these categories of needs for our clients. We're not just attracted to these plant-based, beautiful flowers, seeds, nuts, and all the other things that we love about nature's pharmacy just because it sounds like it's a better choice. There is clear evidence to support why we're making a better choice in whole when using plant bases in skincare. There's been some studies conducting regarding the use of these plant-based or botanicals in skincare, and I like to share them because it really validates everything that we believe in or should believe in that plant-based ingredients can do for us over these harmful chemicals. There's been a multitude of studies that prove that natural ingredients can have a positive psychological effect on the skin, and their application in topical creams, lotions, and preparations within traditional medicines and healing traditions of many cultures have been observed. Here in the States, over the last 20 years, we've seen such advances in both clinical and lab studies to identify the benefits of these natural ingredients, and I've listed one here that I love. This study it talks about the innovations of natural ingredients and their use in skincare. If you haven't already seen this, I would definitely get a hold of this. You can research this and find it online. Dr. Fowler from the University of Louisville in the dermatology department wrote this article, and I loved what it said. It basically said, consequently, a number of these ingredients and compounds are today being developed, used, and considered not only for anti-aging effects, but also used in dermatologic disorders. When we say dermatologic disorders, this does mean within our scope of practice, the conditions associated with acne, the conditions associated with rosacea, rough texture, laxity in the skin, building collagen, tightening, toning, firming. All of these dermatologic disorders or conditions that we'd like to see improved are now being recognized by the medical community, or the plant-based ingredients are being recognized by the medical community to remedy these unwanted conditions. Certain ingredients, such as colloidal oatmeals or aloe, have been identified beneficial in the treatment of psoriasis or atopic dermatitis, respectively, due to their anti-inflammatory properties. These are being widely received now in the dermatology world, where in the early 80s, they thought what we did was very superficial. It's really not. What we put on our skin every day matters, both cumulatively and day to day. So we're reaching again for a more natural source so that we're not inundating or creating a toxic environment in our skin with the harmful chemicals really makes a lot more sense. For combating acne and rosacea, we've seen green tea, niacinamides, salicylic acids, and all sorts of other plant-based are now being considered as efficacious plant-based ingredients, again, in the dermatology world. Pigmentation, antioxidants, we're looking at red tea and licorice and green tea and arbutin, soy, all of these amongst other plant-based compounds to be very beneficial in the treatment of pigmentary abnormalities or laxity in the skin or unhealthy tissue due to sun exposure. All of these can be remedied, again, by these plant-based ingredients. Some more studies of botanicals used in skincare. Here's another one that actually indicates the topical skin lightening agents that are plant-based. Love this. If you need any links to these, just email me and I will go ahead and send these links out to you. But this is another indication of a dermatology study that validated the use of plant-based ingredients like alpha-arbutin as opposed to the chemical constituents or cousins, if you will, like hydroquinone in the skin, which is a much better choice. As physicians and patients and clients and estheticians, while we search for long-term topical skincare solutions, we really should be looking at the wiser choices because, for instance, hydroquinone is one example of a harmful chemical used for lightening. It can be used temporarily, but certainly not long-term. When we know that the use of products need to be used long-term or cumulatively to actually get results, especially when talking about pigmentation. It's one thing to correct and meet the goals, but then we have to maintain the goals. So then what do we use for long-term use? So things like these are identified in this abstract, and I just love that traditional medicine is really wrapping their head around these options for us for long-term use. We know that hydroquinone, corticosteroids, and lots of other chemical constituents used in skincare are now considered harmful for long-term use. The benefits of these natural or botanical extracts provides opportunity to develop new products and address pigmentary problems safely, along with a lot of other unwanted conditions. So there is a lot of information, science to support, and now money being flooded into our industry as to what is the best way to utilize these plant-based ingredients to yield results. And a lot of it now is in the manufacturing or the production and how we utilize these sources. For instance, in our new It's Becoming Moisturizer, Concealing Moisturizer, we're using now a fermentation process with stem cells that's yielding metabolites or byproducts from these plant-based ingredients that are making these stem cells much more bioavailable for the skin and working at a much more rapid rate in the skin. All right, so I love this source, pubmd.gov, so I've put it here in the bottom of the screen here. You can certainly look there for some of these types of articles and just type in harmful skincare chemicals, things like that, and you'll come up with all sorts of studies or the benefits of plant-based ingredients in skincare. You will come up with just a plethora of information to read, and I use this a lot as a source for my clients to learn the benefits of plant-based versus harmful synthetics. So let's just break it down. We really need to understand the different constituents in these plants and how they work to better utilize these products or to understand them well enough to sell these to our clients because there are many different benefits and breakdowns of what these plants offer. We have two kinds of constituents in the plants. One's called primary and one's called secondary metabolites, or these are the byproducts of what these plants yield. And these byproducts are what are put in our skincare formulas. Primary constituents are your starches, amino acids, which are proteins, fixed oils, which are your saturated or unsaturated oils, fats, which are great lubricants for the skin. And then we have our secondary constituents. These are not necessarily for growth, but have a purpose. Some believe that plants are also here to just benefit the human mankind for things like esoteric value, smell and fragrance, and the therapeutic benefits that that brings to the table. So when we look at plants, we have primary constituents that we know do certain things. We have secondary constituents that I look at more for the therapeutic value. The categories of these metabolites are interesting because the first one I want to talk about are the acids. And the acids are prominently found in skincare, as you know, in the beta hydroxy, the alpha hydroxy acids, the retinols. All of these can be acid base, and they're found primarily in high concentrated fruits. Also, fruit extracts are known to do a couple things. We know that acids assist in the removal of dead skin. They can smooth out the skin's surface, texture. They can increase hydration through stimulation. Keep in mind that most of these acids are a lower pH than the skin's natural pH. And so as a result, it triggers a little stimulation in the skin, which then increases all the metabolisms and all of the intrinsic workings of the skin. So we get increased hydration, increased oil flow, increased cell proliferation and cell turnover, increased migration of cell growth. It provides these great antioxidant protection for the skin. We know it does quite a bit. So just fruit in general, or the acids that are the metabolites or byproducts of fruit, are one of the most widely used ingredients in skincare. Now, what fruits are popular? Clearly that we can extract some of these metabolites from. Apples are a biggie. We know that the stem cells from apples provide us lots of nutritional value for the skin. Pomegranates, again, bringing high concentrations of vitamin C. Oranges, same thing. Vitamin C is really great to help promote the growth of collagen, but also are very strong antioxidants to help fight off free radical damage in the skin. Lemons are used a lot also to lower pH of ingredients within the formula and also to help stimulate. And also think about all of the therapeutic value and the fragrance that comes from all of these. Grapes, we know, have high concentrations of tartaric acid, which is an alpha hydroxy acid, which is known to increase skin turnover and to help bring antioxidants to the table. Papaya enzymes, again, pineapple enzymes, these are all great keratolytics or exfoliants. So you can see why fruit is so widely used in skincare. Polyphenols are another byproduct of these plants. These are really identified as great antibacterial or antiseptic ingredients in plant-based skincare. Tea is known to contain the most polyphenols. So, like for instance, our red tea or green tea used within our formulas have very strong antibacterial, antiseptic, antimicrobial properties. The tannins in the teas are also most valuable. Not only are they antimicrobial in nature and found abundantly in leaves and bark, fruit, and in even some woods, but these are great to calm inflammation and irritation. They're really great to use on problematic, oily, acne, problematic skin to kill bacteria, and it helps to reduce allergic reactions. So again, polyphenols have great antibacterial, antiseptic properties. One great example of this is salicylic acid, derived from the bark of most trees. Red tea also as a byproduct of the rubus plant. So these are just some examples of these polyphenols or ingredients that contain high concentrations of polyphenols. Carbohydrates, also something that we can extract from the use of, from these plants. And this is what provides us with this mucilage. It's a gum-like thick substance that's used a lot in skincare to create almost like a gommage, or in some instances, serums or gel-like substances. These saccharides are also really good to stimulate the immune system of the skin. They also provide great wound healing. One example of these starches would be comfrey. This is very rich in mucilage, which is really great for healing, and that's why we see that ingredient a lot in anti-inflammatory or calming formulas. Pectins, usually from fruits, is a really big group of mucilage known to absorb toxins from the skin. We see this a lot. Also, aloe, a very classic example of a carbohydrate or a polysaccharide used to to hydrate and to heal. Now, these are also used in cosmetic formulations as binders and can almost emulsify or bind a solid and a liquid together. So they're used for other reasons too, as a non-performing ingredient, just in the way of the makeup of a product. Amino acids, we hear a lot of this. These are used widely as their building blocks or proteins for the skin. These are found also readily in fruits. And these, in essence, are the peptides that we hear so much about. Peptides are chains of amino acids or proteins, and they're really known, again, as building blocks to provide the skin with strength and integrity. So they have such a positive effect also on a cellular level by providing these constituents to our cells themselves. It also improves scarring. We've seen them be very powerful, even sometimes more powerful than alpha hydroxy acids in plumping out or filling lines and smoothing out the skin and improving tone and color. One example of that is our Get Fit. This is our peptide serum. We know that the long-term use of peptides can result in all of these anti-aging benefits. And even better, we've seen less irritation and less photosensitivity when using amino acids. And I just find that amino acids are something that I love to provide to my clients when they start to see the signs of early premature aging. Maybe it's a lot of sun exposure, maybe it's the improper use of products, but for whatever reason, if we start to see the signs of aging in the mid-20s to late 20s, peptides are really a great way to get that skin to bounce back as your anti-aging remedy. Again, using fragrance, essential oils, and herbal active ingredients from plants have been used for a long time for the therapeutic benefits. And these are really great because this is a lot of what we offer is the experience, and the esoteric values of product need to be such that the clients like to use it because it feels good or because it smells good. And we use these a lot to affect our olfactory system and to appeal to that client. Because once they smell or feel something, they remember how that makes them feel. And overall lends to just a more healthier mind. Now, plant and flower essences are used when we see this a lot in our essential bases or essential oils. And there are 4 broad families of constituents of plants of these different flower essences. In the same way of the other constituents from plants, these oils are based in different categories: calming, energizing, fortifying, and corrective. And we can think of many oils that we use in our skincare products that we can fall into one or more of these categories. For instance, azuline oil from the chamomile flower is a great example of a calming oil. Lemon oil, a great example, extracted from lemons or citrus in general, more of an energizing oil. We see oil squeezed out of like pomegranates used for more fortifying and nutritive value for the skin to actually provide food for the skin. And then we see other oils like a tea tree oil that are really known for more of its corrective value as an antimicrobial. So not only do we get these other great components from plants, but the oils that we can also extract are very corrective in nature and have a very balanced therapeutic effect on the skin. Some of these constituents that we extract in the oil from plants can have multiple properties and fall into multiple categories. The calming family of plants are really known to decrease redness and inflammation. And how do we use these chemical agents in the skin? Well, there's a biochemical basis for their activity. They actually work by blocking the inflammation process. These are also referred to as sedatives in skincare or calming plants. And so a lot of examples are here, the azuline again, or chamomile, lavender, neroli, rose, rosemary. These are all known as sedative oils or sedative plants. And so whatever byproduct comes from these plants, whether it's the oil or the dried leaf or any other of the components, really still provide this very sedative reaction in the skin. The energizing family of plants are known to increase blood flow to the skin or dilation of the capillaries, which in this case is really good because we're rushing more blood flow to the surface of the skin for nutrients and oxygen. And this is done through a magnitude of tannins found in these plants. These are referred to as stimulants. So again, we can stimulate or sedate the skin just simply based on the choices of ingredients that we're using from the plant world. These are some stimulants, and you can think of different products or ingredients in the past where you've seen these, and they're usually indicated or found in very stimulating types of product. Cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, again, lemon, peppermint, pumpkin is a good example of this. Very stimulating, very clearing, cleaning. And whenever we stimulate the skin, of course, all the mechanisms, again, within the tissue are stimulated. So increased proliferation of cell growth, increased turnover of dead skin cells, increased flow of oxygen, water, and oil to the skin. All of these we can expect to happen as a result of using these types of stimulants in skincare. Fortifying, these are actually really great at providing nutrient value to the skin. However, we don't see stimulation or sedation with this family. We're also just nurturing the skin by providing it lots of food sources. So again, bergamot or licorice, grapeseed oil, rosehips seed oil, seaweed, these are all really food for the skin and provide so much in the way of nutritive value to keep the skin healthy. Most of them act as antioxidants primarily. The corrective family of plants, which I love and I focus a lot on, I study this category a lot, is what can we really expect as a result of using these types of ingredients as opposed to the harsher chemical constituents that we see in the market. For instance, red tea is a great example. This is not citrus, whereas a low pH red tea provides great antioxidant benefits, but also is a great source of vitamin C. And can help as a true free radical scavenger. Sage, an amazing anti-inflammatory. Willow bark, which is our salicylic acid, very corrective. All of these we know to be very corrective in nature. And inflammation, plant extracts are what I call nature's gift in skincare. You need these natural ingredients in really high concentrations within the formula, though, to really achieve the results that we know that we can get. So I challenge you to challenge your clients to think about reaching for a healthier choice. That doesn't mean just reaching for what's perceived as a healthier choice, but really understanding what's in that product and why those plant-based sources have been chosen for that particular product for the intended use of that formula. And that we don't have to use these harmful synthetic chemicals anymore to get results. So educate your clients on the fact that Clarity RX uses more than 75% plant-based active ingredients in our products. They are safe enough to absorb, as natural as possible, and proven in clinical trials to be as effective as those harmful chemical alternatives. Unlike many skincare companies who use only very tiny amounts of certain actives just to add them to the label, we always use the optimal amount of ingredients per formula. In fact, we use a lot of the same amounts used in the clinical trials to make sure we're achieving measurable results. This costs a little bit more, but it really means from us to you that you can have absolute confidence in these ingredients within the Clarity RX products because they do what they say they're going to do without the use of the harmful synthetic chemicals. So hopefully today's webinar will give you a little bit more in-depth information as to why we're such big proponents of using plant-based ingredients and why they're a better choice for your clients and that they no longer have to choose the harmful synthetic chemicals. Thank you so much. This is the second master class in the course or program of the Master's Certification Program. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach us at education@clarityclinicalskincare.com. You can also call us at 888-980-7770, and we'll direct you to the Education Department with any questions that you may have. Thank you so much.